Hello and welcome to the monthly weigh-in. At the beginning of every month, I weigh in. It keeps me accountable, it keeps me motivated, it keeps me thinking about goals for the following month. And for the most part, I've had a pretty, I wouldn't say rough beginning of 2026 because I kind of just plateaued. I stayed in one single spot. So my goal for April was just get back into it. I wanted to really start focusing on my diet a little bit more because fitness had been something that I was doing really well with, and I think diet was what was holding me back. So let's talk about April. The first half of April, I was doing great with fitness as I had been doing for the rest of 2026, but my diet was not going great. And a lot of that was contributed to my habit of not tracking my calories anymore, not tracking my protein, and also just eating off of my kids' plates. And there was many a night where I felt like I was doing so good for the rest of the day that I just started eating everything in sight. But fitness was going well. I was a lot less organized than I had been in the past. Before I was doing 1 day of upper body, 1 day of lower body, and 1 full body strength day. And with 1 to 2 cardio days mixed in there and a rest day. But for April, I kind of just stuck to doing strength training 3 to 4 times a week. Most of it was full body strength workouts, mostly because I wanted to keep myself even with upper and lower body strength. But I was just so unorganized with it that I just figured full body was the easiest way to go about that. I also really loved the treadmill this month. I go in and out of how I feel about my treadmill, and I was really enjoying it the first half of the month. I was even starting to do a little bit of running because I just wanted to see what my stamina was like and if running was starting to get a little bit easier now that I've lost some weight. And it was starting to get a little bit easier. But spoiler alert, I haven't been on the treadmill in a while at this point. So I don't know where that could have gone if I had stuck with it, but it was going somewhere at the beginning of the month. And the first half of April, there also were a few days that it was just absolutely beautiful outside. So I was outside just playing with my kids, and I would get so many steps on those days because I would just be walking around my yard, running around with them, going up and down the hill outside our house. But again, my diet was not very good, so I didn't see the scale move too much the first half of April. But the second half of April, that is when things started to change. I started pre-planning my entire week in my net diary, so I would get 1,300 to 1,500 calories every single day with at least 100 grams of protein per day. And yes, I would edit it here and there. Some things I would add to it, some things I would take out of it, some meals I completely just got rid of and replaced with something else. But I found that if I had a plan already set up, that I could make it work even if I needed to edit it. And because I was starting to plan my meals, I stopped taking food off of my kids' plates. Not entirely, there were still bites here and there. But I kept reminding myself every single day that I hadn't tracked that. It would be difficult for me to track just a bite off of their plates. It would be very annoying. And so I stopped myself quite a bit. Yes, even this morning, I took a bite off my kid's plate. But it's not that big a deal if it's just one bite. It's when it becomes one bite every single time I pass them because they take forever to eat. And they also just do not finish their meals, almost ever. So I needed to start just putting their meals in the fridge right away if they weren't going to finish it. Otherwise, I would finish it. Pretty quickly when I started tracking on the app, I noticed that I was averaging 120 grams of protein to 140 grams of protein, which is much higher than what I had been doing before. Before I was averaging probably 100 to 120, and some days 100 was hard to reach, but I made myself reach it because that's the goal. But it got so easy to eat protein. I don't even know what I was really doing differently besides just pre-planning everything. But the second half of April, I did get a lot less organized workouts in. And by organized workouts, I mean, this is a set hour that I put aside in my day just to focus on fitness. That could be a strength workout, that could be a dance workout, that could be, I started getting into Ring Fit Adventure a little bit at the end of the month. But at this point, I have not done an organized workout in probably almost 2 weeks. And that is because, number one, we had a lot of really nice days outside. So I was still very active. I was getting lots of walks in. I was bike riding. I even attached, we have one of those trailer tent things that you can put kids in that trails behind your bike. I'll put a picture of it right here because I have no clue what it's called, but you'll recognize it as soon as you see it. I attached that to my bike, and there is a hill outside of my house, and it's not a giant hill, but it is a slight incline. And when I got 2 kids trailing behind me that I'm trying to pedal up this hill with, oh, I was exhausted. My legs were killing me that day. So I definitely got a workout in, and I did get a workout in pretty much every single day that I was outside. It just wasn't an organized workout. It was just walks, bike rides. Yes, I was chilling outside in the sun, but I have a hard time just sitting still. So I was doing a lot of just pacing, wandering around, playing with my kids, cleaning up their toys, all of that kind of stuff. So not organized workouts, but still being active. And I'm hoping that pretty soon I get back into, because I got into the habit of just not doing my organized workouts. But I want to get back to it, because I'm worried about losing my muscle. So that is how my month went. Here is the weigh-in. At the beginning of April, I weighed in at 166.4 pounds. And I made a goal for myself to hit 165 by the end of the month, because I had been struggling so much to get to 165. I've been attempting to get there since January. So I didn't think I would get much farther than 165, but I needed to give myself a goal. So that was the goal. But at the beginning of May, I weighed in at 163, so I surpassed the goal, and I credit all of that to my diet. I feel like fitness is just something that I'm adding to my life to make me feel better. But diet is what really makes the difference with my weight loss right now, especially since at this point I've lost over 80 pounds. Things are starting to slow down. It's getting more difficult, and the diet is really what makes or breaks it. Now let's take a look at my progress photos. So looking at these, I really can only see the difference when I turn to the side, which I feel like for most monthly weigh-ins, I don't see too much of a difference when I turn to my side. But this month, things seem just a little bit smoother. I feel like they didn't look any smaller. They just looked a little smoother. And I'm okay with that. I'll take that. As far as non-scale victories though, my clothes have been fitting great. I have been starting to dabble in the size medium clothes at the thrift store. Some things will fit me better than others when it comes to size medium, but for the most part, size medium is starting to fit me. And that brings us to what are my goals for May. Like I said, I do want to get back to doing some more organized workouts. I did do a poll on my community tab of what you guys would like to see for a fitness challenge, because I'm hoping that'll get me back into it. And Ring Fit Adventure did win, so I want to do Ring Fit Adventure for 30 days. The only thing I need to figure out still is how I'm going to record gameplay. I'm not super tech savvy. So if you have advice, go ahead and leave that below. Otherwise, I may just literally point a camera to the TV and record the gameplay that way. I'm not tech savvy. I'm sorry. It took me this long to figure out how to upload YouTube videos consistently. For my diet, I want to continue tracking weekly at the beginning of every single week. My birthday is in May. It's in a couple days actually. And I'm gonna just like not track that day, and I think that's gonna be okay. I will need to be careful because every time a birthday comes up, and we have a lot of birthdays coming up right now in our house, so there will be cake in the house pretty often. And I don't know if you know this about me, I love desserts. I eat them regularly, but I need to control myself around cake. I need to start just like freezing it. I don't know what I need to do, or just throw it away. I don't know, make them smaller. Why does nobody else in my house love desserts as much as me? That's the problem, because then I'm the only one eating that. Anyways, the leftover cake is probably going to be the only issue I foresee happening. Other than that, I'm gonna track everything a week in advance, continue with that, keep getting the protein in. I'm starting to focus a little bit more on fiber, although honestly, with a lot of my breads and wraps, they're very high fiber, and beans, I love beans. So fiber really has not been too difficult for me on most days, but it is something that I'm looking at. And my weight goal for the end of May, I think I can reach it, is gonna be 160. I don't know what's gonna happen after that, because my goal for all of 2026 is 160. And that is just because things were going so slowly. I wasn't sure how long it would take me to get out of the plateau, to figure out every single time that I fall off, getting back on. Things have just slowed down quite a bit. So I don't know what I'm gonna do once I reach 160, what the next goal is gonna be. For my height, I think my ideal weight is 145, which I've never weighed. I don't even remember seeing a weight that small. I feel like the lowest weight that I have ever been was in high school, and that was 150. So maybe 150 will be the goal. I don't know. The goal keeps moving. But thank you for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe if you want to watch my weight loss journey. I do weight loss vlogs, what I eat in a days, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye.